Good morning, Ray. You awake? No, I'm never awake. We're living in a video game simulation. Of course I'm not awake.
昨日はいろいろと大変だったけど、あんまり心配しないでね。
Alright, then I won't. Anyways, guys, welcome back to ChronoClock. If you guys remember the last episode, I said that I was probably getting sick, and it turns out I had an ear infection. Yay! It was wonderful, and it's starting to feel better now, but it was not fun. Every time I swallowed, it hurt my mouth, hurt my ear. Not fun. But anyways, I'm grateful to be back to ChronoClock. I thankfully had enough episodes that I could keep uploading regularly, even though I wasn't recording anything. So hopefully we're going to be finishing up Misaki's route here soon. I think we're getting close to the end here, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do at the end because we have the concert, and she just hurt her wrist, so I'm not really sure how that's going to work. But we ended up saving our sister, so I guess that was kind of worth it. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on here.
痛みもほとんどないから、いつも通りよろしくね。
Oh, she can hardly feel the pain. I wonder if it's like healed pretty quickly because we were thinking it was going to be like a week or two, and it's like the concert's coming up in a few days. I read those texts from Misaki 3 times each from the top to bottom before setting my phone down. Sounds like he doesn't really trust her, what she's saying. They were worded pretty much the same as any other good morning text messages she always sent me. Usually, I'd always be quick to respond casually, but this time around I struggled to think of a reply. She sent those texts at a later time than usual, and they've been placed particular emphasis on her well-being. Yeah, it sounds like she's trying to say that she's better than she actually is. But we're gonna see if that's the case. It was clear as day she was trying to quell the anxieties I had, despite everything she already had in her hands, in a literal sense. I wish she'd count on me a little bit more, but given her personality, that would likely prove difficult. If I'm gonna make her count on me, I'd better change my approach a little. Yeah, I'm awake now, but I can't just not worry about you, so I'll keep worrying about you the same as ever. I don't want to pry or anything, but if anything comes up, just tell me, okay? Also, why don't we have lunch together today? Yeah, I want to see if she's actually like just faking it because I could see her doing that, just kind of pretending that her was it her wrist that got hurt? I'm sorry, it's been a few days since I played. I think it was her wrist that ended up getting kind of hurt. 2 hours after I sent those texts. Before the start of morning homeroom, I came to Misaki's classroom. So basically, I came here to help you out.
どういうわけよ。
Well, I told you in my text, and I'll keep worrying about you the same as ever. I pointed at her wrist to emphasize my motive. It was plainly visible with the dazzling whiteness of her skin standing out. Why is he talking about her skin right now? I could see it was slightly swollen, but she hadn't put a compress or bandages on it at all. Ooh, yeah, it's gonna swell. You need to like take something that will help reduce the swelling and then definitely put like some ice on there too. That's strange.
姉様がご奉仕をしてくださると聞きましたが。
Don't word it like that. Since Misaki's injured, I came here to stick my nose into her business.
おせっかいって分かってるんじゃない。けれど嬉しさが隠しきれない美咲さんは笑顔になってしまうのでした。なってないわよ。嬉しくなっちゃったけど笑顔は我慢してるわ。
Yeah, you're just red as a tomato. She couldn't get the blush off her face, so yep, even Ray noticed it. That's how you know it's very noticeable when Ray notices it.
美咲ちゃん怪我してるの。
Turning around, I saw Miu, who seemed quite surprised to hear the news. Don't tell me, Misaki was trying to keep that under wraps or something?
その通りです。
I didn't just mention it out loud, did I?
以心伝心ですね。私としては心だけでなく体もつながりたいのですが。
You know, I've had to take a break from this game for quite a few days now, and I still don't miss Michiru. Just always trying to throw some kind of sexual reference in there about us becoming one.
みちるちゃんはちょっと静かにしてね。
Even me was sick of it. She's like, Michiru, focus, serious moment.
かしこまりました。
Hey, at least you have some self-awareness. That was quite a terrifying display of authority I just witnessed. My respect for Miu just went up so much. I really love that.
美咲ちゃん、怪我っていうほどの怪我じゃないんだけど。
It seemed pretty bad, Misaki. Let's not pretend it wasn't something it was.
先輩ちょっと
It
こっち来
wasn't.
て
Where
兄
was
さ
I
んには
going with
後
that?
で話すから
Misaki, seemingly unable to stand Miyu's gaze any longer, took my hand and tried to pull me along, but she tripped. I stopped her from falling flat on her face by grabbing her hips. Whoa, Ray. Okay. Finally, we're getting to the good stuff in this route. I like it.
美咲さんたら教室で抱き合うなんて羨ましい
Mitru, what did we just talk about?
そこははしたないとかじゃ羨ましいけど
What? Miyu's over here just like, oh, I wish a man would hold me like that. And then Misaki's like, I can't do this, guys.
ありがとうじゃないわよどうして動いてくれないのよ
What, you want me to do a little dance with my butt? Sounded kind of sexy. I guess a girl's strength won't make me budge from where I stand.
そうじゃなくてここは私と一緒に屋上に行くべきでしょ
Oh, so you wanted to go there.
そうよ二人でこっそり内緒話がしたいの
Her wanting to talk to me certainly wasn't a secret, so I guess she wanted to talk about... What she wanted to talk about with me was the secret in question. Yes. Good job, Ray. You got it. Later, Michiru.
あとはお任せくださいみーさんには今節丁寧に説明させていただきます
Alright, you do that. Well, just give her the cliff notes. I guess Miyu's gonna be in on Misaki's injury now as well. That should put less pressure on Misaki whenever she gets asked about it. Though I'm pretty sure that the same circumstance wouldn't apply to how she'd taken me by the hand like that. Undoubtedly, by the time she returned to the class, the rumors would be spreading like wildfire. Because nobody else has anything interesting to talk about.
でご奉仕って何よ
That's just how Michiru worded it. As I was saying, I came to help you out.
そうだったわねでもお世話って私は平気ってメールにも書いたじゃない
Yeah, but nobody believed that.
もしかして怪我のことを気に病んでるの
Well, like, this is literally the thing that the route's been building up to, and then you injured your wrist, which is going to make it hard to play the instrument that you've been so excited to really prove that you can play well. So yes, it is making us feel a little bit gloomy, okay? Not gloomy about it, but I'm certainly worried. That's your dominant hand, so not being able to make use of it as much could be a problem, right? Like when they call you to the blackboard or something.
そうね
Yeah, the blackboard, right. Not only that, you hadn't even told Miyu about it back there. I know you don't want to make people worry, but isn't that kind of counterproductive?
そうよね私が逆の立場ならすっごく心配するだろうし
Exactly, thank you.
先輩との話が終わってから説明するわ
Looks like Michiru is taking care of that. Still, you should follow up with her later.
何してくれてるのよ
Because we care about you. What do you mean? What do you not understand? What about this is so hard to get your head around? I figured if Miyu knew about it beforehand, it'd make her less worried about you.
そうかもだけどみちるのことだから余計なことまで吹き込みそうだもん
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you this one. I will totally sympathize with you here, because that is absolutely true.
そう言わなくても紛らわしい言い方したり純粋なみーちゃんは騙されちゃうわ
I don't know. I have a feeling that Miyu is less innocent than she's letting on. How about that? Because I feel like we're gonna see some different parts of her later. But I will wait for that moment to comment on it more. Misaki seemed just as innocent and liable to getting the wrong idea as her, though. Well, let's just try to trust Michiru on this one. It's you we're worried about here, after all.
授業のノートは後でみーちゃんに借りるから大丈夫よ
Well, then I guess that just leaves the matter of feeding you, so that can be my role.
それこそみーちゃんにお願いするわよ
We literally asked you to lunch. What do you mean? Well, not like I mind. At my instantaneous response, Misaki's expression suddenly froze. Her eyes closed for a moment as if she was deep in thought, and then the tension gradually seeped away from her lips.
あんまりみーちゃんに頼ってばかりはダメよ
Oh yes, I'm sure. Yeah, can't rely on Miyu too much.
先輩も気にしてそうだし手伝わせてあげなくっちゃダメだし は仕方ないのよ。
Oh no, I guess you'll have to settle for the guy who's hopelessly in love with you. Yeah, I know, what a shame. I don't think Miu would mind. She might even offer to help without you needing to
毎
ask.
日お願いするわけにもいかないし。
Couldn't you just try eating things you could manage with just one hand?
それはそうだけど。いやいや、そんなの栄養が偏っちゃうからダメでしょ。
Yeah, that's true. There's certainly other ways of dealing with that.
工夫とかそこで頑張らなくてもいいじゃない。
Fair enough, it seems like that would be unhealthy in a completely different way.
そうよ。不自由を強いるのは体に悪いわ。
I suppose if you were to eat stuff that's delicious and healthy, you'll recover a little faster. Misaki's expression kept changing by the second. Naturally, it was adorable to see.
そう。だったら今日のお昼から早速お願いするわね。
This was the most roundabout way of making us do something that we were already planning on doing.
今日のお弁当食べづらいものだったし。
Why did she take that sort of lunch with her to start with anyways? Did she do it on purpose? Was that her plan from the very beginning? I guess we'll never know. That wouldn't change me having to feed her, though, so what the hell? Right, then I'll come over to your classroom at lunch. How about we invite Miu and Mitra to join us in... No! No.
さもいいこと思いついたように言わないでよ。みんなに見られちゃうじゃない。
No, terrible idea. I don't want to invite those two. I'm just trying to keep the first year boys in check, showing off how nicely we get along and all.
する必要ないから。私はそんなに軽い女じゃないの。
Yeah, I trust you on that. I'm just worried that they'll try to
ち
swarm
ゃ
you.
んと断るから大丈夫よ。
So she really does intend to confess to me, though it's not like I was expecting any different. Roger that, so we'll have lunch up here then.
他の人は連れてこないでよ。
Got it, and also, is it alright if I can only help you out with lunch?
もしかして家まで来てくれるの？
No, I guess that's kind of tough in the mornings and evenings.
そうだよね。
Still, I'll make an effort to help you out no matter what.
どうして？さすがにそこまでは頼れないかな。お父さんとお母さんもいるんだから。泊まり込みとかしたら同棲みたいになっちゃうでしょ？
Yeah, something tells me parents of, like, teenagers would not allow that to happen. I think she got too carried away with that one. That certainly came like a bat out of hell. I guess that we'll have to keep taking things step by step like a proper relationship. Well, outside of school stuff, I'll leave everything up to your family. Also, how about walking to school together?
それってみちるに付き添う DD 先輩みたいに？
I guess I can't wake you up in the morning, though.
先輩も起こしてもらってるの？
No. Sometimes, though, lately I've been trying to wake up earlier. I'll have your text to thank for that. Should have left well alone. Enough alone. Well enough alone there. There you go. I got it, guys. I wondered if I should use the watch, but instead I ended up giving Misaki a backhanded compliment to settle the matter. Guess I'm gonna end up having to give her a wake-up call tomorrow morning. I guess that was weird enough in itself, but oh well. Alright, I like it. I wonder how many days we have till the concert, though. I feel like we're like not really talking about that too much. I mean, to be fair, it's probably not a good idea to talk about it too much right now, with her just kind of being injured, but... After several hours of classes and short breaks, the time for us to have lunch finally arrived. Since Misaki disapproved of the idea, I figured it would be best not to swing by her classroom and meet her. Was she annoyed with me about this morning? I texted Miu about it out of concern, but her response came as a spot of good news.
レイ先輩と美咲ちゃん、教室の中ですっごく噂になってますよ。
Are like the toast of this classroom? What does that mean? Like, I'm trying to think. Are we talking about toast, you know, like the bread? Or are we talking about toast like kanpai, you know, like we're celebrating something? I don't know.
付き合ってるんじゃないかってクラスの女の子が話してます。
I mean, that's fairly obvious, but yes. I get it. So I wasn't being a bother after all. She was just embarrassed. Misaki's always embarrassed. Yeah, that's good. I guess that explains why you're in high spirits.
先輩はいきなり何言っちゃってるの？
I'm always yakking about something. I'm yakking here, I'm yakking there. Oh, just how I'm glad to see you act like you're enjoying yourself.
先輩こそ随分と浮かれてるみたいだけど。
Well, duh, I'm gonna be feeding you today after all.
は？
We'll do the whole say ah thing, alright? I'm pretty embarrassed myself, so try to chill out.
恥ずかしいならやらなきゃいいじゃない。しかも安心って何よ。
Well, all things considered, the feed-ee's supposed to be more embarrassed than the feeder, right? But right now, I'm more embarrassed about this than you are, so that's why I want you to chill out.
先輩の方が恥ずかしいの？
Well, you know, saying ah does that to a person. But you've already done that to me once before, so I need to return the favor.
いつの話よ。捏造しないで。
At the park with the Pocky. Yeah, that was that was it, right? Like, we were pretty much, like, eating the same Pocky together. It was kind of weird, but very embarrassing, and apparently some people saw us doing that, or at least saw us at the park together. And furthermore, it was the mouth-to-mouth kind of feeding.
あれはそういうつもりじゃなくて。
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, anyways, lunchboxes. Open sesame. Whoa, yours looks pretty good, too. Now say ah.
だからいきなりすぎるのよ。しかも私のお弁当なのに勝手に開けてるし。
It'd be tough to open it with one hand, wouldn't it? Now say ah.
だから。
Like, I'm just pushing it.
ってものがあるでしょ。私の話を聞きなさいよ。
Such was how the first day of eating lunch together like this went. I like how he's just immediately, like, just trying to put it in her mouth, like, say ah. He's just rushing into it. My life as Misaki's nurse, day 2. The first time around, saying ah was incredibly embarrassing for her, but this time around she seemed a little bit more willing to go along with it. Say ah.
仕方ないわね。
Just take it slow and be sure to chew your food well.
子供扱いはしないで。
We should tell her if she eats all of her food that she gets to have dessert after. Just really, like, hone that in. Hey, you shouldn't talk and eat at the same time.
くらいはちゃんとしつけられてるわよ。バカにしないでよね。
You have to eat all your vegetables, Misaki. I think I really enjoy her route because I love how much Ray teases her about things because that's my style of dating. I just love it so much. Noticing that it was quite a walk to the roof, we decided to relocate to the courtyard this time. Ooh, where people can see us. I somehow had a hunch that people were watching from higher ground, but I figured it wasn't anything to worry about.
ほら、先輩。早くしなさいよ。
Maybe Misaki was worried about it too, but it didn't look like she noticed. Alright then, here.
あーん。
Well, it's embarrassing and all.
私だって恥ずかしいんだからおあいこでしょ。
Alright, say ah.
ちょっともういきなりすぎなのよ。
Let's just stuff it in her face mid-sentence.
あ
Are we just holding it right there without putting it in her mouth?
早く食べさせなさいよね。
You were that hungry. Haha, you really are quite the glutton.
意地悪しないでよ。
You know what I would have done? I would have held it like that and she'd be like holding her mouth open. I would just take a picture. We had an enjoyable meal that day. Just do all types of embarrassing stuff. That's my favorite, just taking really embarrassing pictures. Alright, day 4. Eating in the courtyard is now.
ご飯食べないから。
Hey, I'm not at fault for that, alright? Evidently, Misaki's friends had seen us eating in the courtyard the day before. She must have really been teased about it, though I heard from Mitra that they were quite jealous. In any case, we ended up back on the rooftop for lunch today.
先輩は嫌じゃないの？噂されてからかわれるなんて。
No, because we're the one who likes to tease, so... I don't mind if they're doing it to you. Oh, it's almost like they're rooting for us, so I'm happy.
付き合ってるわけじゃないでしょ。根も葉もなくもないけど、私は平気じゃないの。ご飯は落ち着いて食べるべきでしょ。だから前庭で食べるのは禁止なの。
Well, let's just stick to the roof, then. That's the best spot for you to eat in peace, after all.
そう。ありがとう。
Hell, I was hoping she'd say that. We can have a lot more fun with lunch if there's no one else
それじゃあ
around.
早く食べてその後ゆっくりしましょう。
With a little glutton, though I'd already teased her about that yesterday, so I opted not to this time. I opened the little lunchbox and did the whole say ah thing again. I'd already gotten the hang of it. She's like, oh, Ray, it tastes so delicious because you fed it to me.
先輩が食べさせてくれると美味しさ倍増ね。
Oh, is that a fact? Every now and then she can give me a reaction I wasn't expecting.
先輩も食べてみる？
I'm good, that just gives you less to eat yourself. And besides, you wouldn't experience the excitement of being on the receiving end.
それもそうね。手づかみってわけにもいかないし。
The conversation was getting rife with
今回
insinuation.
が終わったら先輩にも食べさせてあげるわ。
I want it to be your cooking then.
行かせなさい。先輩のために腕によりをかけて作ってあげるわ。
I wanted to give her some resolve to get well soon, just enough that I wouldn't be rushing her into things. I didn't know whether she got the message that sickness is all in the mind, but I was willing to try anything if it seemed like it'd produce results.
だからって口移しはもうしないわよ。
Oh yes, because that would be verbatim, guys. I didn't think that far ahead anyways, though I had a feeling she'd totally do it if I asked her to. Best not to say that to her face. Are we close to the concert? I thought it was like less than a week, and we've gone through, what, 4 days? After eating, we spent our time relaxing just as planned. The weather felt nice enough that we could lie on the ground. Felt kind of hard, though. I wonder if I could ask to use her lap as a pillow. Though considering the slenderness of her legs, I might be too heavy for her to support me. In fact, I ought to offer her my lap to rest on. I'm trying to cheer her up, aren't I? Right, Misaki, you want to rest your head on my lap?
先輩は何でもかんでも急すぎると思うの。
I mean, I feel like we're being a gentleman. I don't think we're rushing into anything like too serious, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that. I'm more the type to consider my plan through before I act on it, even though I'd been thinking the considerations of this situation
じゃ
over.
あ私に告白してくれた時は？
I totally overshot the mark with that. I guess it was like I couldn't bring myself to not come out and say it.
へえ、そうなんだ。
She nodded happily in agreement, and while still seated, inched ever so slightly closer to me. Our arms touched, and I could feel her weight leaning against me. Isn't it kind of hot out for this?
膝枕の代わりよ。寝転がったら汚れちゃうでしょ。
You seemed alright with it last time,
ま
though.
あ、疲れてたのよ。
I'm sure. It was just tiredness, guys. You're not as tired now. You're not as tired now.
まあね。
Back then, Misaki was racked with worry about being able to perform well enough. She was practicing so obsessively it threw off her sleep schedule and she was becoming discouraged. She was racked with anxiety over whether all the effort she put in before would produce the results she was aiming for. Hence why I started to help her. I wanted to cheer her up, to help her come up with her own answer. I wonder how much Misaki has changed since all that time went by. She cozily nuzzled her cheek against my shoulder. She seemed very much content and calm. She wasn't showing any signs of weakness or helplessness, but are you worried about whether or not you'll make it? She froze only for a moment.
まあね。絶対に治るって保証はないわけだし。出られなかった時のことはいろいろと考えちゃうわね。
She seemed worried, but she showed no signs of being discouraged.
先輩にこれまで付き合ってもらったのに、その成果を発揮できないのは困るかな。それにみちるにもいろいろと言いたいことがあるから。
Like what, if you don't mind me asking, that is?
いろいろよ。おかげで上達したわとか、負けないって意気込みだとか。あとは純粋に競い合いたいっていう気持ちもあるわね。
Yeah, kind of going back to what I said before, I do feel like Michiru really did do and say some of the things she did to really bring out the best of Misaki. And I really hope we get to see her perform and we get to see some of that brought out. I don't know. I'm not sure if she's going to be better by the time the competition rolls around. Spirit of competition, huh? That's a nice kind of relationship.
ライバルって思ってるのは私だけで、一方通行かもしれないけどね。
Misaki pressed on, her voice remaining calm yet
み
determined.
ちると同じ舞台に立って私にできる最高の演奏を見せつけてやりたいの。同じ立場でこの気持ちがみちるに負けてないって証明したいの。
Her words of determination stirred my heart enough so that I momentarily held my breath without realizing, just like when I fell for her performance. Her wordless feelings for me were conveyed very strongly.
出られなくても後悔はしないと思う。だけどね、この気持ちが高まりすぎて次の機会まで待てそうにないのよ。
I knew full well what Misaki's words were alluding to, thanks to Michiru having told me beforehand. It really was better for me to find out about it. I was filled with so much happiness and excitement, the feelings I couldn't convey were on the verge of bubbling over. That kinda sucks.
本当にね。
Happy, yet also at an impasse, with just a touch of bashfulness mixed
最
in.
初は結果を出したいだけだったのに、それ以外の理由もできちゃったからね。
All the more reason you'll need to recover then.
そうね。直して最高の演奏ができるようにしないと。
She gave a determined nod while gazing at her right hand.
もう随分と演奏してない気がするわね。
It hasn't even been a whole week yet, though. Are you worried the pain's getting worse or
それ
something?
はあんまりかな。むしろバイオリンが弾きたくてたまらないのよ。これまでは毎日のように弾いてたし、そろそろ我慢の限界ね。
Hey, you need to rest up and recover
わかってる
first.
けど、そう言われると余計に演奏したくならない？
I'm serious, it's such a good opportunity for me to watch you performing on stage. Once I'm able to see that, I think I might fall for you all over again.
もう先輩はどうしてそういうこと言うのよ。
Because I can't help it. I can't help but want to say it.
ずるい。私だっていろいろ言いたいのに。散々我慢してモヤモヤを演奏で発散してたのに。あ、そっか。そうなんだ。
Misaki suddenly became rather downcast before she could finish her train of thought. Then, with a look of satisfaction as if a weight had been lifted from her heart, she continued.
みちるの気持ちがよくわかるわ。
Misaki?
理解したつもりで分かってなかったわ。
I hope you're not just gonna keep what you're insinuating to yourself, though.
そのね、気持ちを届けるって意味を実感したっていうか、みちるが言いたいのはこの気持ちを届けるってことなんだなって。
The smile on her face stole my
ず
heart.
っと一緒にいたみちるなら込めるものが多くなるのも当然よね。言いたいのに言えない気持ちとか叶えられないもどかしさだとか。
That is kind of an interesting way of looking at it. Like, Michiru realistically would probably never have her feelings returned to her, right? In reality, Rei would probably never feel the same way. I mean, obviously it's a visual novel, so of course it would happen, but in reality, most likely, like, a situation like that, she would never have her feelings returned. Feelings she wants to put into words but can't. And she has, like, such powerful emotions, I feel like, for her brother. I think we're gonna see that once we get into her route. I think we're gonna really see, like, how deep her love is for him. And, like, how much she really cares, and what got her to that point. I've kind of mentioned this before, so sorry if I sound like a broken record. But I think Misaki's, like, finally starting to understand how Michiru really feels.
むしろシンプルにしたら収めきれないし伝えきれないから曲を通して表現するのよ。
And then, yeah, I think that's really what makes her music so good. That's what makes Michiru, I guess, a step above Misaki, is that she's channeling her emotions, the things that she knows won't ever be returned to her from Rei, into song. Misaki's words of clear determination stirred up a myriad of feelings within myself as well.
私気持ちを込めて弾くからね。私の全部を捧げるから。先輩へ向けて奏でるから。
I didn't dare ask what she meant. If she had feelings she couldn't put into words, better to wait for the time when she could express them properly. Right, I'll make sure those feelings get through to me. Indeed, I too had a great deal of things I wanted to say to Misaki. A great deal of feelings I harbored for her, which I wanted to convey. But right now, they could not be put into words. I'm definitely excited for the concert.
頑張るから楽しみにしててね。
We both smiled, holding hands. The mutual warmth of our skin was conveyed between us. For now, that was more than enough. Yeah, I'm very excited for this concert. I really want to see, because I feel like she's going to put on this amazing performance. And that's going to be her way of like kind of expressing her feelings back to Rei that she's not been able to say so far. And then hopefully we'll get like a nice confession afterwards, and they'll be able to, you know, come together, and we'll be able to see a beautiful moment. But the day of the contest, guys, I'm so excited. Let's go. I feel like this is probably going to be the big build-up we've been waiting for the entire route. Not to say that I wanted to rush through it to get to this moment. I feel like there's a lot of things that have built us up to this point in time that I think is going to make it really special. And I really hope that it feels as special as the rest of the route has like wanted me to have it be. Since we were blessed with quite fine weather on this day, Misaki, Michiru, and I were all able to walk to school together. Neither of them showed the slightest hint of being nervous. Perhaps they were accustomed to the commute to school as the location itself. If anything, although I was only a spectator, I felt like I was the most nervous one of the pack.
さてと、みちるは会場になってる行動を確認してくるんだっけ？ええ、この手のコンクールは初めてですから、念には念を入れてチェックはしておこうかと。問題はないと思いますが、兄様の前で下手な演奏はできませんからね。念を入れるんだったら、事前に場所くらい確認しておきなさいよ。あら、手厳しい。しかも初めてステージで演奏するとか、他の参加者を舐めてるわ。ですから、それを含めて問題ないと判断したのです。
She's been listening in to everybody. She's like, yeah, I'm better than this person. Michiru was exceptionally bloody-minded today. Interesting. Not only that, rather than getting upset, Misaki was able to stand tall in the face of her confidence today and make for a good rival. The two of them were both in fighting spirits, but if anything, even though I was only a spectator, etc. You don't need me to tag along. You're being oddly nice.
コンクールが終われば、美咲さんとは和やかに話せないでしょうから。最後の晩餐ならぬ歓談といったところでしょうか。
Yeah, I definitely understand what she's talking about. I feel like emotions are going to be running high, and they're going to probably stop having these kind of nice, calm conversations versus like just pouring out their feelings and emotions to each other. That's what you meant. My sister is quite the confident one. Naturally, Misaki shot back with her own retort.
見送りの言葉を考えておきなさいよ。私が兄様と離れることなど。ああ、うなだれて帰宅する美咲さんへの言葉ですか。
Or I'm totally misinterpreting everything they're saying, and they're just talking about like, oh, I'm gonna win, and you're gonna have to, you know, back away from my brother, or you're gonna have to back away from your brother.
先輩とよ。あの時の約束、絶対に守ってもらうんだから。
Neither of them showed the slightest hint of yada yada yada. What? Why are you skipping over this, Ray? I want to know. All things considered, having someone to compete was a foolproof way of inciting motivation, especially with me being the prize. But wouldn't this kind of situation normally entail two guys fighting over the affections of a lone heroine? Right, take care. I watched Michiru disappear inside the school building and then turn to face Misaki. So you're nervous after all.
それなりにね、今日を目標にしてずっと練習してきたわけだし。でも、みちるがいたから逆にいい緊張感が維持できてると思う。先輩だけだったら舞い上がっちゃってたかも。
Maybe you should have told her that.
いやよ、からかわれた挙句に感謝しろって増長しそうだもん。
Well, I guess even if you don't say it to her face, she'd probably clue into it. Even if Michiru was aware of it, it'd be embarrassing for her to handle having it told to her directly. Which is why teasing Misaki is her way of coping with that embarrassment.
感謝することが多すぎるからね。みちると、もちろん先輩に対しても、それに先 先輩以外にも感謝してるわ。両親とか友達とか言い出したらキリがないんだけど。
She suddenly looked up to the sky. Following her lead, I allowed myself to indulge in time's steady progression.
私が一番感謝して尊敬もしてるのはみーちゃんなの。尊敬っていうか憧れなのかな。
I think I kind of understand. I too admired how honest a soul Miu was. It was that honesty that made me want to help
みーちゃん
her.
はね、苦労することがあっても前向きになれるし、努力して乗り越えられる子なの。
Yeah, I feel like we got a good glimpse of that at the start of the game when we were just kind of trying to help her get with Shuji. I feel like it did kind of show like how strong of a willed of a person she was, that she was willing to try even though she thought maybe she didn't have a good chance.
それで最後には一番になって笑顔で本当に嬉しそうにするの。
The way Miu faced her problems head on and tackled them directly was a great asset of hers. Even if people understood that you couldn't move forward without facing your problems, many still wouldn't be able to take them in stride like that.
だからね、私もみーちゃんみたいに一番になれるように頑張ろうって思ったの。
Yeah, honestly, like Miu is... I definitely respect Miu in that sense, that she was willing to go and do something even if maybe the odds were against her. I try to be that way in life. Like, you gotta just tackle your problems. Like, there's a lot of things that are really hard to deal with, and it's easier to choose not to deal with them. But if you are willing to go ahead with it and you're willing to face them head on, like, you'll get more resolution and you'll be able to move on quicker if it doesn't work out. I feel like if you just kind of like hide from problems, like, they don't ever go away and you'll have to continue to deal with them. But I really respect that Miu is like, hey, I like him and I'm gonna try to confess to him and see what happens. And I feel like that's like the right approach to most things in life, right? Maybe do what Miu did, where she kind of like prepared, right? Like, she didn't just go into it, she practiced, she prepared, you know. I feel like that's a really good approach to it. Like, maybe not just, okay, face your problem that moment. Maybe that's not a good idea. But Miu really like tried and tried to do her best to make sure that it was the right moment. And even though it didn't necessarily work out, she can feel happy that she put in the effort and tried anyways. Misaki gave a bashful sort of smile, but no, this wasn't something I really felt like saying out loud. It wasn't just Miu who had the resolve to steel herself for challenges which lay ahead. Misaki had that kind of resolve as well. Yeah, and I think she's kind of talked about it before, where if something gets her down, like, she knows how to get right back up. Like, she's able to just keep going at the problem and doesn't let things discourage her for too long. Like, she might take a moment, might kind of put her down, but, you know, a good conversation and realizing that she can do many hard things always helps her to just go back and face the problem again. Misaki I fell in love with, who would do everything in her power to accomplish a goal she had her heart set on, always had that kind of resolve. But if it wasn't Misaki's own humility that had given her resolve for this moment, it was better for me not to say that.
前にも言ったかもしれないけど、私っていろいろと家で習い事をさせられてるの。
Yeah, you did say that.
そのことに不満はないし、期待に応えようと思って努力してきて、その中で唯一自分からやりたいと思って始めたことがバイオリンだったの。大好きになったから上手くなりたいって頑張ってたの。
I know how hard you've been working, and I really do admire that. I had the feeling that would be impossible for me to keep at doing something I felt was impossible for me. I admired that. Yeah, and I feel the same way. I'm very much someone who won't start something that I know I don't think I'm likely to finish, because I don't feel like I have the confidence to do it. I tend to shy away from that, not intentionally, but just kind of passively. And I really respect people who are able to do that.
それくらい頑張らないとみーちゃんの頑張りには勝てないと思ったのよ。それくらい大事なみーちゃんを先輩は助けてくれて、感謝して先輩への気持ちが変わったのはあれがきっかけね。
Yeah, you started out viewing me as some kind of threat, but I didn't have any ill feelings towards her. In fact, I thought she was a lot of fun to be around. Yeah, I thought the same thing when I first met Misaki in the game. I felt like she was just a super fun character, and like I thought she was kind of dumb in a funny way. Like, I'm not saying she wasn't smart. I'm just saying like some of the stuff she was saying was just kind of out there, and I like characters like that. I really find them genuinely funny. Um, but I got to see so much more of Misaki like as the game went. I got to see like some really like deep sides of her. Of course, she still kind of has that like tsundere type thing where she's always like, "Oh, I didn't do this for you," or "Oh, I don't like you. I'm not going to tell you my feelings," you know. She kind of shies away from stuff like that. But at the same time, I've really gotten to see how much she cares for the people around her and how much she cares for the things that she's passionate about. I feel like she's really like taken some good things from Michiru, who I think honestly has been trying to help her, and she's been looking at Miu, who I think has been a good example of her of trying something that may seem like it's not likely at first, but you know, trying anyways. And I feel like she's grown a lot. Once I learned she was Michiru's close friend, we grew closer. Thinking about it, we really have come a long way together.
でもそうやって先輩のことをしっかり見てたから分かったこともあるの。一緒に過ごして遊んで少しずつ知っていったの。私自身の。
Oh, frick. Gosh, they had that long pause, so I was like, oh, she must be done talking. Nope. I'm sorry. Misaki's lovely smile seemed to capture my heart in an instant. I felt myself getting excitable as well, but it was too early for that.
初めて会った頃はすっごく頼りない女の子だったのよ。本当はすごい子なのに人見知りで私がいないと自分の意見も言えなくて。
That was the same impression I had when I first met her too.
いきなり会った男の人と話せるような性格じゃないもの。
Misaki had a gentle look in her eyes as she reminisced.
私のことをすごいって、私と友達になれてよかったって笑顔で言えるようなすごい子なの。
She's undoubtedly reminiscing about something just between the two of them, something I didn't know about. Couldn't help but just feel a little bit jealous. Though whom exactly it was I felt jealous of, I couldn't really say that for certain.
そんなみーちゃんがね、自分の思いのためにそれまでの自分から変わろうって努力してたの。
If she wanted to change, she could show courage. Her wish became a goal which allowed her to move
努
forward.
力してもっと素敵で憧れる女の子に変わって、私は自分のことのように嬉しかったけど、同じくらい焦ってたの。みーちゃんはこんなにすごいのにって。だから私も頑張らなきゃって焦ってた。頑張らなきゃいけないのにできなくて、どうしたらいいかもわからなくて、ひたすら努力だけして。
I don't know, she kind of saying like she felt like she had to kind of match her. Yeah, I'm just gonna get this so I can really absorb it better. Yeah, so she's talking about like putting as much effort in as she does, and that made her anxious. I feel like it was maybe she wasn't like quite ready to be able to do that. Maybe she's not that used to it, because we kind of found out from Michiru that it seems like Misaki's the kind of person who doesn't really be honest with her true feelings enough, and maybe that's what's held her back from being a better musician, is that you need to really express yourself through your music, and if you're not really being honest with yourself, it's hard to express yourself fully. So she's talking about not being able to put as much effort in, and that's making her anxious, whereas Miu kind of probably maybe still gets anxious too sometimes, but just is able to do it a little bit more comfortably because she's honest with herself. She's like, hey, maybe I'm not the most outgoing person, maybe, you know, I lack this or that, but I'm going to try anyways. I'm going to try to do my best. And I think that's probably the difference maybe between Miu and Misaki is... Sorry, I'm losing my thoughts. I just have a lot of thoughts going through my mind, and I'm like trying to like put them in order. But I think Misaki's realizing a lot of things right now. I think she's realizing that she can be honest with herself, and through all the interactions she's had so far, I think she's really going to show her best self. I really like the name of this, by the way. So it's Misaki 8, and it's an unchanging determination. I really like that. I'm just gonna keep listening to her as I try to gather my thoughts. I keep like starting to say something, and then I kind of lose it. Even if something you strive for can be admired within arm reach, when the goal becomes seemingly unattainable, your initial feelings start to grow hazy. Your brightest aspirations and feelings begin to wane, grow dim, and eventually fade away.
そんな時に先輩から告白されたの。
Sorry about that. I guess I really did just jump the gun there.
本当にね。
Yeah, I would say his confession was just kind of out of the blue. I mean, it was pretty obvious that there was feelings growing between each of them. Like, it wasn't necessarily a bad timing in that way. It just seemed like she had so much that she was focusing on. To have that thrown on top of it kind of threw her for a haze.
あの時の私は何もかも中途半端だったから嬉しかったけど、あの時の私じゃ答えられないと思ったの。
Misaki wore a smile that seemed to wordlessly say, because I didn't have any confidence in myself. Because she didn't have any confidence in herself, the least she could do was just practice. Which was precisely why she was putting in so much effort back then all on her
ちゃ
own.
んにバイオリンのことを秘密にしてたのだって自信がなかったのね。うまくなってから聞かせて驚かせたかったのも本当だけど、今なら素直に認められるわ。
Misaki gave a slight smile as she said that.
昔からみーちゃんに勝てるものが欲しくて、好きなもので誇れたらって思ったの。だから最初は結果を出さなきゃって必死だったんだけど、その理由が先輩のおかげで変わったの。結果を出して自分を認められるようになれたらいいなって。
Whether that way of thinking turned out to be a good thing, I hadn't the foggiest clue. But if Misaki had truly come to view me as someone just as important to her as Miyu, that made me feel happy all the same.
結局何が言いたいかってことなんだけど。
Misaki's voice fell into quiet mumbling, making me tilt my head in perplexion.
ありがとね。
Yeah, you're welcome. I cracked a smile. It seemed a little late to be thanking me. Or maybe it was the right time. But it was for that reason that the smile quickly disappeared from my face. But still, you can't perform if you're not feeling your best, can
何言
you?
ってるのよ。先輩とこうして話してたおかげで気合もバッチリなんだから。
How's your wrist? I gazed at Misaki's wrist with my expression
痛み
serious.
止めが効いてるからそれなりに調子はいいわよ。
How can you call that feeling your
しょ
best?
うがないわよ。誰にだってそういう時はあるだろうし、今の状態での万全ってことなんだから。
She kept trying to gloss it over as if it wasn't anything of concern. I don't know. I almost feel like this is a moment where, yes, is the situation ideal with her wrist being hurt? No. But she still feels like she's come to terms with her feelings, and she feels like she can give her best performance, even if it's not really her best performance per se, right? Like, maybe she's gonna miss a few notes or something, but at least her heart's in it. She feels like she's going to be giving her best in that sense. She feels like everything's kind of come together for this moment. She feels like she's kind of come to terms with her feelings and how she feels towards Rei and music and Miyu. I feel like that's what really makes this her best moment. Not necessarily that she's going to be in the right circumstance or, you know, the conditions are ideal. It's that she's really felt complete with everything that's happened.
私以外の参加者でも今日になって体調が悪くなった人がいるかもしれないでしょ。楽器に問題が起きちゃった人もいるかもしれないわ。だけどみんながそういうことも含めてコンクールに参加してるんだから。
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of what she's saying. She's like, okay, well, the conditions aren't perfect, but, you know, she's going into it with the attitude of, I'm going to make the best out of it. And she's just being positive, which sometimes makes all the difference.
それが勝負よ。
Misaki seemed to be in quite good spirits, and it didn't appear to be forcing herself at all. Oh, the irony. At the beginning, she had the skill, but not the will. And when she was just finally able to muster the will, she suffered an injury, which ended up affecting her skill. However, if she hadn't been injured, I doubt Misaki would have been able to mature as much as she did. She was trying to face a major difficulty before. With a smile, it was a noble thing to do. However, if I couldn't help but wonder, or help but ponder over that one little word, hey
大
Misaki.
丈夫よ。
Misaki stopped my train of thought with words of absolute
私
resolve.
は大丈夫だから。参加するつもりよ。
She wasn't gonna let me say anything to patronize her. She wasn't about to let herself
技
depend on
術
me.
以上に大事なものを学んだんだから。トータルで見れば前よりもうまく弾けるはずだわ。
Misaki smiled. I could only pray that she was right about that. I don't know. I could see her losing the competition and then still being cheerful. I could see her losing and confessing her feelings to Ray and saying, "Hey, I gave it my best, and even though I didn't win, that's okay. I felt like I did my best. I felt like I put in the effort. I really put my heart and soul into it. You know, I practiced, and although I had the injury that probably affected my performance a little bit, and maybe I didn't win, that I'm still happy and I still feel accomplished, right? You still feel good with yourself at the end of the day. So it could go that way. That's kind of the way I was wondering ever since her injury, if that's how it was gonna go. Or maybe she'll end up winning anyways. Who knows? But let's go ahead and watch. I want to see what happens. After that, we didn't talk about our performance of the contest any further. Continuing to walk around the school building, we passed the time of idle conversation to allow Misaki to put aside the stress being put on her. Walking through the hallways, we talked about how bright and wide open the place felt with no one else around on a school holiday, and about which rooms the other clubs might hold their activities in. As we were chatting, Michiru returned. Evidently, she had finished getting
美
ready.
咲さん、まだ話をしていたのですか？
先輩を独占したからって怒ってるの？
なんて色ぼけた発言なのでしょうね。もう
Wow.
開会しますよ。
Okay, Michiru is actually focused here? What is this?
もうそんな時間？
ずいぶんと悠長なことですね。準備が間に合わなくても知りませんよ。
やることは全部終わってるから大丈夫よ。あとはステージに立って演奏するだけ。
演奏するだけなら簡単でしょうね。
いつも通りに演奏すれば結果はついてくるわよ。
Glancing at Mitra, I imagine she felt Misaki was burning with self-confidence. Though for Misaki, playing like she always did was the biggest obstacle she had to face right
で
now.
もまあ、みちるにも先輩を貸してあげないといけないわよね。
逆ですね。私が美咲さんに兄様の時間を貸してあげていたのです。
Okay, okay. They gazed into each other's eyes wordlessly. How does she know where her eyes are? And then the faintest of smiles came to both their
ご健
faces.
闘をお祈りしております。
みちるこそ、しくじらないでよ。
Though their exchanges were blunt as competitors, it was befitting for them both. And then they shook hands not just as rivals, but also as
それで
friends.
は兄様、また後ほど。
I like that they did that though. I like that they're like viewing it as friends and trying to lift each other up rather than trying to break each other down. Because I feel like the strongest competitors in the world, what they do is they want to fight the strongest people. They want to prove that they're best, not by making the other person smaller, but by making themselves bigger. I really like that they're taking that approach.
先輩、行ってくるわ。
Right, and remember, no
も
regrets.
ちろんそのつもりよ。
In accordance with her words, Misaki walked off towards the auditorium as a contestant. I followed suit. Unable to do anything but wish for our success, I headed for the seats. They better give us a cool CG for this. If they don't, I'm just not gonna play this game ever. Just kidding. But I don't know. They've had a few moments where I'm like, oh, this would be great with a CG, and then they don't give a CG for it. But they also have given a lot of great CGs with Michiru. I think we've seen a lot of interesting shots of her, to say the least. Since we were talking about until the 11th hour, Misaki probably didn't have to spend very much time waiting backstage. Ando, owing to her surname, made that Misaki the first performer. Though in a way it was rather unlucky because being the first performer meant she'd be judged against all the other performances which followed her own. But given the painkiller she was on, it was probably the best for her just to get it over with. Okay, guys, we've got the CG, we've got the piano in the background, her performing the violin. I'm curious to see how her performance is going to go. While I was lost in thought, Misaki appeared on stage. The bustling auditorium quickly fell silent. Giving a bow to the audience, she then shifted into her playing stance without a hint of nervousness. Then silence. For just a fleeting moment, the air came alive with the flowing of notes. As if it were conveying her joy at finally being able to perform without restraint, the melody she played was bright and vivid. Her small body made big, yet also delicate motions as she played, which was definitely a crucial part of performing like this. Not bad. I'd heard her perform many times before, but this certainly wasn't bad at all. On the other hand, I couldn't say for sure it was her best. Maybe it was the suspense of performing at a contest like this, or maybe it was something else. I didn't know. I knew full well that what she really sounded like at her best, so maybe this was just my fancy. I could sense an ever so slight stiffness for performance. Were the painkillers wearing off, or was she just trying to be careful with her wrist? Or maybe those were things weighing on Misaki's own mind as well, and it was killing her ability to concentrate on her performance. However, I prayed she'd be able to pull through to the very end. Then, of a sudden, her face contorted in pain. The instant I noticed that, horrible off-key notes fell on my ears. Misaki seemed to be struggling to breathe. She was frantically trying to move her arms to play, and she seemed infuriated that she was losing the ability to play correctly. Then finally, her arm which held the bow fell limp. The murmuring of the audience filled the auditorium. Trying to defy the unrest, Misaki struggled to lift her arm again, but doing so made her look pathetic. Sorry. Maybe it was her determination which pushed her to the end, to end up on stage like that, but I couldn't bear to see her this way, to drown out the noise, and to repent my own weakness. I took my watch and smashed it against the floor.
それでは兄様、また後ほど。
I don't know. I mean, is redoing that performance gonna fix anything? Is he gonna say something to her that's gonna help her get through the performance? Like, was it her wrist, or was it just her determination, like, kind of broke in that moment?
先輩、行ってくるわ。
Returning to 5 minutes earlier, I found myself at the literal last second. Misaki was still set to perform first, but this time it was a stroke of fortune. No, considering what I was about to do, it wasn't my place to be talking about fortune. Wait, Misaki.
何先輩、もう始まるんだけど。
I reached out and grabbed her right hand on reflex. The juxtaposition between her arm and my own was rather troubling. Remaining that way and making absolutely sure that Michiru was no longer within earshot, I gazed directly into Misaki's eyes.
どうしたのよ、先輩。
Misaki, I really think you should withdraw.
何よ、いきなり。
Her eyes went wide as saucers. She was probably wondering why I changed my mind so quickly since I'd just been encouraging her in spite of her injury. You know your wrist is in good shape, don't you? There's no way you'll be able to perform in that condition. Her face stiffened. I knew she was determined to go through with it, but she was setting herself up to fail. You have to ask, though, is it better that she goes up and fails, or is it better that she doesn't do it at all and has that regret of never even trying to begin with? I think that's a kind of a hard position to be with. But Ray's situation's different. He's seen her just kind of fail up on stage and look really just disappointed. It just seemed like she was disappointed in herself and the situation. Is it better that she doesn't try at all and that Ray kind of tries to comfort her in that sense? Is that going to be a better situation? I don't know. It's hard because, like, the wrist thing isn't her fault. It really isn't. It wasn't her messing around and doing something. It was her going out of her way to save Michiru and making sure she was okay. Because she cares about Ray, and she cares about Michiru as her friend as well. So it wasn't really her fault, and it's like, so my question still stands. Is it better that she doesn't perform at all, or is it better that she performs and fails? I don't know. Maybe she's going to get courage, and maybe she'll perform either way, because it just doesn't seem like her wrist would make it. Like, it's not a matter of determination. Like, you can have all the will and determination, your body physically isn't going to keep up with you. Going through with it was a lost cause. I know how you may feel and how you may think about all this. Or maybe he's gonna try to convince her not to do it, and then she's gonna end up doing it anyways. And failing, but at least she knows she tried to do it. That the pain really is that serious. Instead of forcing herself, why can't you take time to recover, then have a rematch or meet you some other time? I don't know, I think part of it, though, is she said that she was gonna confess afterwards. She wanted to prove that she could compete with Michiru right now and that she could confess. Like, it's been building up to this moment, and if she doesn't do that, how is the confession going to work? Is there not going to be a confession from her? Because she's going to feel like I didn't meet that expectation of myself. I don't know, a lot of questions. I guess I just wanted to throw those out there. I know you guys like kind of hearing what I'm thinking, but I just really want to see what's going to end up happening. Tension drained from Misaki's arm. Even as I let go of her hand, she took not one step forward. As her prior concern dissipated, she muttered bitterly.
さっきからずっと違和感はあるし、うまく弾ける自信は ないわ。痛くて途中で弾けなくなっちゃうかもしれないわね。
Her head drooped and she let out a sigh. But upon raising her head, her face showed no hint of depression.
でもここで挑まなかったらもっと苦しくなると思うの。ミチルとの勝負も大事だし、練習の積み重ねも発揮したいし、努力を不意にしたくもない。
You could still just wait for the next opportunity. I was still trying to convince her to back down. I had no idea what the hell I was even doing right now, but I only wanted to protect Misaki. I think the thing, though, is you can't really protect her. I think it's fine that he's talking to her about this and just kind of giving her options, right? Because ultimately Misaki needs to be the one to make the decision for herself. But I think if she really wants to perform, knowing that she's probably going to stop midway through, which is what ended up happening, we already know that, I think she'll feel better about herself. I feel like she's going to say to herself, well, I tried. I gave it my best, you know, I had something happen that kind of prevented me from going further than that, but at least I put myself out there, at least I tried, and I can say that I didn't back down from this challenge.
そうね。いろいろな思いがあるけど、今じゃなくてもいいのは分かってる。でも、一つだけ、たった一つだけ、今じゃないといけない理由があるの。私のために、やっぱり演奏したい。
And you know, that's the best reason to do something in life, is to do it for yourself. Do it to make you happy, to do it to improve yourself and to make yourself a better person.
この苦しい状況でも前に進めたら、乗り越えられたら、きっと私を認められるようになるから。だから、先輩。
I had nothing more to say. I couldn't stop her at all. No wonder you're Miyu's best friend.
当たり前じゃない。ずっと一緒にいるんだから、似てきて当然よ。
True. She was guaranteed to fail, but all the same I wanted Misaki to rise to the challenge. I wanted to be there for Misaki as she faced down any obstacles she encountered so that I could cheer her on.
そんな顔しないでよ。先輩が失敗するわけじゃないんだから、もっと安心して見守っていてよね。
Misaki.
しょうがないな。
Misaki suddenly drew closer to my face, and suddenly stopping right next to my cheek. I felt a soft and warm sort of sensation.
これで元気出た？
All things considered, shouldn't I be the one giving you a kiss for good luck? I had to stop my hand from instinctively wiping my
おま
cheek.
じないは女の子から男の子にするから意味があるのよ。先輩からは私が優勝した後に。
Seeing her smiling without a hint of anxiety like that strengthened my own resolve. I understand. I'll be excited for
キ
that.
スが楽しみだとか言わないでよね。私の演奏を楽しみにしてなさい。
I wouldn't dream of not being excited for that too. With a smile, she finally turned her back to me. As she whisked away out of sight, I saw her off with a smile. Didn't matter if I turned back time, the result would be the same. Misaki's likelihood of failure was a perfect 100%. She didn't want to regret not doing something worth regretting. Yes, I couldn't change the outcome of her performance. For someone like me who had the ability to manipulate time, that was the epitome of irony. Thus, I would make a choice that I deemed to be the correct one, a choice which lay outside of that 100% likelihood. I walked through the hallway, took out my phone, and dialed Michiru's number. I wondered for a moment if she turned off her phone while waiting in the green room, but thankfully she picked up. Michiru, sorry, it's me.
兄様、美咲さんがまだ来ていないのですが、お話は済みましたか？
Yeah, she's hurrying over there right
そ
now.
うですか。時間に遅れて不戦勝なんて無様な話にならなくてよかったです。
Yeah, but Michiru, about that, I have a favor to ask
喜
of
んで
you.
お引き受けいたします。
I haven't even told you what it is yet.
兄様のお願いでしたら、みちるはどのようなことであってもウェルカムでございます。
Yeah, even over the phone I could tell she was all smiles, and as always, when it came to asking favors, her obedience was second to none. Let's do this. Even while I knew what she was about to ask meant of her Even while I knew that what I was about to ask of her meant that the lovely performance she so wanted me to hear would go to waste, Michiru, here's what I want you to do. It's about your battle with Misaki. I want you to concede it.
さてと。
closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Even after everything I said to Ray, would things really turn out like that? Just like he had said, the chance of me falling was enormous. Or failing, excuse me. The painkillers I'd taken for my sprained wrist had dulled my senses that the throbbing pain seemed to be amplified tenfold. I was in absolutely no condition to be doing this, but I had a reason for doing this, and if I didn't put on a tough disposition, I would risk losing to my own weakness. If I were all on my own, I would definitely lose. In my imagination, I could imagine myself giving up, wallowing in my despair, lying on my bed crying.
情けないななんて軽く流せるのも一人じゃないって分かってるからよね。
Felt no hints of discouragement. It was precisely because I knew I wasn't alone that I could just turn on my heels and flee like a coward from a challenge I had inside of myself. No matter what happened, no matter how horrendously I played, I would play to the very end. Opening my eyes, I stepped onto the stage. I took a bow to the audience, then took up my playing stance. There were so many people watching me. Where could Ray be anyways? I couldn't see him. What a pity. Silently staring upon my violin, I stood still for one brief moment to quell any feelings of restlessness that still remained. I can do this. I know I can do this. I know for sure I can do this. I repeated it over and over to myself in my mind to convince myself of it. The moment I began to play, I felt as though a vicious electric current was shooting through my wrists. I wasn't doing anything difficult. When I wasn't doing anything difficult, I could manage, but I couldn't play without moving my wrists in complex motions. No, I'm alright. It's just my imagination. This feeling is just my imagination. Don't focus on the pain, focus on the music. Envision the piece in my head, concentrate on the notes, and expand my vision to encompass the whole flow of the piece, not just each individual note. Transmit my emotions, my thoughts. If I could just concentrate, I could ignore the pain. I had to ignore it. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
全然集中できてないし。
My facial expression showed no signs of panic brewing within me. The painkillers were doing anything but. The dull sensation in my hand amplified to the point of intense discomfort.
やりづらい。
To try and cover up for my wrist, I started using my elbow and shoulder to play the strokes. My arm was gradually weighing heavier, so I put more force into it. I also steeled my resolve through my entire body, trying as hard as I could not to drop the bow. And all of a sudden, the pain and dull sensation disappeared. No, I can't feel my arm at all. I can't even tell if I'm putting any force into it at all. If that's how it is, it's enough for me. If I can't feel anything, I'll stop weighing myself down for intrusive thoughts like this. Just keep expanding on the vision of the music. I chased only after the desire. Neither my romance nor my gratitude. Nothing save for the love of my violin. That was all that remained. I want to put all my effort into it. I want everyone to know. I want to play. I want to play so badly I can't even bear it. I'm going to express that with everything I've got. I'll play to the very end with every bit of willpower I can conjure up within me. So...
最後まで持って。
Though my arm was numb, I could vividly feel every drop of sweat rolling down my back. Was I pushing myself to the breaking point? I could feel my arm, my hand, and my entire body going numb. And then as if it had suddenly remembered to, the pain in my wrist relapsed. It was like the roles had been reversed and the bow was playing strokes with my arm. The rhythm of the music melded together in time with the electric shocks of pain surging through me. I couldn't bend my wrist. My bow couldn't hit the low registers. My breathing was panicky and I couldn't calm down. I'm fine. I'm alright. I will not give in to this. It's interesting that we've had all this build up to Misaki like being honest with herself and realizing her true feelings, but then she's not being honest with herself, saying that she has no pain right now. I wasn't moving, still holding the bow. My arm lifelessly fell to one side. A groan escaped from my throat. Why? Why? I said I wouldn't give up. I said I'd play to the very end. Then I'd demonstrate the final result of all this practice. To Ray, to Michiru, to everyone. That I'd let all of them see my performance. So please let my arm move. Let me keep playing it, damn it. I can't give in, not now. Then all of a sudden the music resumed. I was playing? Happiness welled up inside me, but something didn't seem right. My arm wasn't moving. Or rather, I wasn't the one playing. Things were not as though I thought they were. The one playing was a more profound, more brilliant soul. A soul whose honesty I could almost be envious of. I kind of had a feeling something of this might happen when he told her to just kind of drop their competition that they were having. Despite being in the middle of a performance, a tiny bit of my voice escaped from my throat impulsively. My jaw hung open and I hadn't the ability to think of closing it.
美咲さん、
みちる。
お邪魔しております。美咲さんはどうやら怪我の具合がよろしくないようですね。このままお一人で演奏されるのもお辛いのではありませんか？
そうだけど。
My eyes were as wide as saucers, and I couldn't understand what was happening. Naturally, I could hear murmuring from the audience as well, but even in the moment, Mitra acted indifferent, as if no one else was present here
そ
but
こ
us.
でなのですが、私と伴奏などいかがでしょうか？以前に提案された時は叶いませんでしたし、ちょうどいい舞台だと思いませんか？
Yeah, that's right. They never did perform together. I think they talked about it when they were at
ダンス
Ray's
って
house.
ちょうどいいとかそんなの。
ご安心を。これは兄様からのご提案ですから、詳しくは。
Ladies and gentlemen, I must apologize for this unavoidable interruption in the program. Is that Ray's voice? Glancing in the direction of the master of ceremonies, who was supposed to be the one with the mic, I saw staff members rushing about like they were looking for something. The mic was gone? Michiru's sudden appearance was surprising enough, but this sudden announcement was the real cherry on top. In regards to why the performance has stopped in the current situation, I shall explain further. It concerns the current performer, Misaki Ando. While this may sound like some sort of cheesy manga, at this moment she is afflicted with a terrific injury. Said injury was the result of her protecting my younger sister, and the person standing beside Miss Ando presently, Michiru Sawatari, from an accident. Michiru gave a slight nod at that, not just owing to this bizarre announcement, but also the mention of the Sawatari name and Michiru's sudden appearance on stage. The murmuring from the audience grew louder. Oh shit, here comes the cavalry. The mic picked up and amplified his stupid ramblings, and so he started talking faster than before. Both of these young women have practiced with utmost passion for this contest. While they were naturally both been competing in that sense, they've also been competing against each other to mutually hone their own skills. It is my opinion that considering the enthusiasm and aspirations of these talented young musicians, there is no ill intent behind this interruption. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we do not wish to allow these two to have their time in the limelight. The matter is not if they are disqualified or given a failing score as a result of this. It is merely my wish to allow you to hear them perform together. Come what may, I hope for your understanding. Hey! That was the sound of a struggle, and then the mic was cut off. For a few interminable seconds, silence filled the air. The confusion and restlessness in the venue swelled further. I was starting to feel some concern, but it was not a positive sort of concern. In the midst of it all, Michiru stepped
ただい
forward.
まご紹介に預かりました。沢渡みちるです。
As she spoke, the commotion from the audience settled
この
once
度は
more.
お騒がせして申し訳ありません。おおよその事情は兄様からの説明通りなので、私から言いたいことは一つだけです。ああ、いえ、二つありました。まず、今の状況のことを美咲さんは何も知りません。私と兄様が勝手に乱入しただけなのです。私はこの先のコンクールに出場できなくなっても構いません。今美咲さんと演奏ができればそれでいいです。文句がありましたら沢渡に言えと兄様から伝言をいただいております。
みちる、あなた。
At my shocked explanation, Michiru gave a smile so slight that one could hardly have
そ
noticed
して
it.
大事なことですが、皆さん、私と美咲さんの演奏を聞きたいですか？
Having said her piece, Michiru waited in silence for the audience's response. Michiru and Ray were going out of their way to help me. My initial feelings of happiness and confusion were still whirling around inside me, but how could they have the gall to drag the Sawatari name into this?
美咲さん、兄様を信じてください。きっと何とかしてくれます。
先輩が。
それと、皆さんが、ですね。
Michiru spoke as if to reassure me. Her voice was gentle, almost overflowing with tenderness. All the nervousness and restlessness still residing in my heart was quelled in an instant. And then I felt a faint yet new sort of fluttering sensation beginning to replace that stillness.
今の声、みーちゃんだ。
Miu's voice and the sound of applause. Oh, Makoto's here too. And then of course Dee Dee has to be here. Hey, this guy, what the heck? Words of encouragement from my other seniors piled up one after another. The applause swelled too and eventually engulfed the entire venue. Every bit of the bewildered atmosphere was whisked away.
観客さえ美談で抱き込んでしまえば勢いでどうにかなるものなのですよ。
先輩もみちるもとんでもないわね。アジテートの才能があるわよ。
アジテートなどと言われても私はあまり頭が良くないので魚の味が思い浮かんでしまいますが。
Well, you know, you can't change anything without stirring up a little bit of trouble.
ま、これくらい大したことはありませんよ。どうやら観客に知り合いも大勢いたようですし。
だからこんなことするのもどうかと思うわよ。
言い出したのは兄様です。愛されていますね。
You could say that. Maybe, quite possibly he's in love with you, I don't know. Wasn't made clear. So happy, so excited. Sure know how to get my heart racing, Buster, but never mind. Yeah, no one's gonna stop me now. As long as I'm able to play the violin, nothing else matters.
それじゃあみちるお願いできる？
ええ、お任せを。
As if those words were our cue, the two of us took up our playing stances, and the auditorium immediately plunged into silence once more. The atmosphere of thick, intense silence, the kind you feel right before the music starts, really is amazing. The emotions I felt which overflowed from deep within the core of my being, though this performance I would express them all
ありがとう
for all to hear.
みんな。
I guess that's gonna be the ending, huh? Okay, I'm actually skipping that little ending there. I'll probably watch it on my own time, but I want to skip it because, I don't know, last time I did that, YouTube didn't like it. I just really want to see what the conclusion to everything is. I really like that little ending right there. I think that was really good. I really liked the way they did that. I like that it was them performing together. I like that there was no hard feelings involved and that they could just play, even though she was hurting and in pain and clearly, like, couldn't finish her performance. I like that. I like the way everything went. It was really sweet. After the contest had concluded that day, Misaki was all smiles and tears. Michiru and I were all smiles as well as we left the auditorium. Happily ever after, indeed. Was not how this story ended. Borrowing the mic without permission like that resulted in me being restrained by the staff members, so I wasn't able to see Misaki smile after the performance. I was then dragged out to the green room where the contest organizer tore me a new asshole. I practically had to kowtow an apology. All the same, given Michiru and Misaki's circumstances and how the audience handled the whole affair, I probably managed to win them over in the end. Though I guess bringing up the family names of Sawatari and Ando had a bit of effect on that. It was both the best and absolute most utterly deplorable of trump cards to pull. Abusing the family name for my own means. It was exactly the kind of thing some spoiled rich would do. And yet, that was a decision I made. If failure truly had been inexorable, then there was no point in dwelling on it. Exorable. Did I say that right? I don't know. There was no point in dwelling on it. Good point. The real solution was to be found in my future. Whatever will be, will be. Of course, it didn't just end there. Both the Sawatari and Ando families ended up getting involved as well. Misaki's parents had been in the audience, and being brought to meet them sent my stress skyrocketing. While they were grateful, I practically had a heart attack at their sudden request for a meeting with my own parents. Furthermore, when I requested they direct their complaints to Sawatari, my dad just had a coronary. Back home, my family went and tore me 2 new assholes. Great, you got a lot of assholes now. Should have no problem going to the bathroom. Enough so that I felt the contest organizer had gone easy on me. Incidentally, Michiru was present there as well, but she had just sat idly without any worries. Her influence was too damn high. Yeah, Michiru's not the kind of person who would worry about something like that. And then... oh, let's go, guys. Yes, CG time! Look at this. This is an amazing CG.
まさかあの出来事が新聞に載るなんて思わなかったわ。
Well, at least it was just in the local section.
ネットニュースとミニブログでまでさらされたのよ。
Misaki squirmed about, beside herself with humiliation. I may have been underhanded in my tactics, but our families have been even worse. Before the whole charade could turn into a scandal, they went and leaked the whole story to the mainstream media as if it were some kind of glurge. I don't think it's that big of a deal. You just stopped the performance, there was a little bit of drama, and that was it. But I guess their family names are so big that it, like, kind of is a big deal when you just kind of bring that up. Wouldn't you know it, we just made our debut in a major national newspaper. Just like some cheesy manga. Well, you know those clickbait sites are. Just give them 3 days and they'll move on from it.
学校じゃもっと長くネタにされるでしょうけどね。
Oh no, no. The two of us kids were quite a handful to our respective families. They used their business dealings to preserve the dignity of our family name while chastising us in the process. Most importantly, they accepted our relationship and brought both families closer together in every sense. Adults really are masters of manipulation, such is their power. Still, we have all the time in the world for now.
そうね。
Besides, I'd say we both put in a lot of effort just for just a few kids.
子供か。
Yeah, I mean, it'd be best if we had the others to fall back on for help if we need it. You never know, we might have to repay them. She giggled unexpectedly.
え
What?
だっておかしいんだもん。
She laughed even harder.
先輩ってほんと未来のことばっかり見てるのね。
Yeah, you could say that. What serendipitous irony that was, even if I had to laugh at it. I guess I'll have time to be more careful next time. Indeed, I had to be more careful with this watch as well. I'd initially thought of it as just a quick fix gadget that I used just for laughs, but now I couldn't think of it as in just that light anymore. I needed to use it better for the happiness of others. But above all, I needed to use it for Misaki's own
急に考
happiness.
え込んじゃってどうしたの先輩。
Oh, just that failure can be a good thing sometimes. There's a lot to be learned from
見
it.
るものか。形に残るものはなかったけど、見えないものはたくさんあったわね。
Yeah, like how people accepted our
まだ
relationship.
付き合ってもいないのにね。
Oops, you're right. Not yet.
そう。まだよ。
Her gaze wandered every which way when her cheeks still glowed with shades of crimson. Everything had started back when I first confessed, but when I ended up having to wait until the contest had ended for a clear answer. Therefore, this moment was the final and the most extravagant curtain call.
ね。先輩。
Let me guess, you won your battle with Mitru. Even though I knew Misaki didn't know how Mitru had told me the full details, I told her anyways because what the hell?
なんで知ってるの？
Think about it, hell, it's so obvious. Mitru's not the type to hide something like that from me.
いじる
She still stamped her foot alley into the sky. Man, that takes me back.
そんなことより勝ちって、あれは二人とも失格になったんだから勝ちも負けもないでしょ？
I suppose you're right. So you're saying you won by a technicality. Well, let the contest rules say that's how it is, but if I had been the judge, you'd be a clear winner in my eyes.
へりくつすぎて納得できないんだけど。
It's alright, your performance really was moving to me.
ものすごい身内びいきね、それ。
Mitru's my own relative, so I think I can get away with that.
私から言いたくてずっと頑張ってたのに。
Stop sulking, besides, you didn't put all the effort in just for my sake,
そう
right?
だけど。
Honestly, that just made me fall for you even harder. I love you even more now than the first day I'd first confessed to you. Now then, even if I knew about the promise Misaki had made to Mitru, it's time to fulfill my original goal now. I love you, Misaki. Please go out with me. My phrasing had slightly changed from last time. Your performance was the one I listened to most closely of all, so will you please let me stand beside you as your lover? A smile bubbled to her face as she worthily accepted my feelings. She gave a slight nod, or she appeared as though she would, but no concrete words came from her lips. She simply continued to gaze at me, as if this were that brief, tense moment of silence before the music truly began. Her eyes were moist, her complexion twinged to a scarlet down to the base of her neck.
先輩と一緒にいるだけで、私も胸が高鳴るようになりました。私のことを好きになってほしいと思うようになりました。私、安藤美咲もあなたのことが大好きです。
A gentle breeze stirred the air. It was the winds of change descending upon us. Her skirt gently fluttering with the breeze, Misaki's face bloomed into a beautiful smile.
私が先輩のことを一番好きなんだから。 ずっとずっとずっとずーっと私と一緒にいてくれなきゃダメなんだからね。
Well, there we go, guys. That was a cute ending. I like the ending. Well, there we go, guys. Route 1 complete. Completed Misaki's. It was good. I can't say that was like the best route ever in the world, right? Like, obviously it had its flaws. And it's kind of anticlimactic to have her build up all this time for the concert and then being able to... Yes, let's go! I love when they change this. Oh, this is so good. I love it. But guys, I really enjoyed that route. Like I said, wasn't perfect. There's things I would maybe change about it. But overall, it was good. And y'all told me this was the most tame route, so I'm definitely expecting to see more interesting things in the future. I don't know. I kind of changed my mind, and I might just do it. I'm probably not going to even consult you guys on this one. I think I might go ahead and do Michiru's route next. Hi, Makoto. Sorry, I'm gonna skip you because I need to keep talking. I think I might do Michiru's route next. I might kind of do it similarly to the order they have going on right here. So Michiru on the left. I might go to DD and then Makoto, Crow, and then me, of course, for the end. I think that's how I might do it. I don't know. I seem to be getting a lot of Michiru in this route, and it makes me just kind of want to explore her story more and give her time to shine, right? So I might go ahead and do that if that's okay with you guys. I'm not really going to consult you. I'm probably just going to do it. But, oh, it's Misaki. Hello. But Misaki's route was good. I mean, I don't know what more I can say about it. I liked the build-up. There was a lot of nice build-up with her, like, just kind of going the direction of the violin. I didn't really expect that. I know she's got the music note in her hair and stuff. I probably should have saw that coming, but it was really sweet. And I liked being able to see the different sides of Misaki, where she went from this kind of goofy girl that I didn't really take seriously most of the time to someone that really had like these more deep down thoughts and things like that. What happens if I go into memories? What is this? Oh, okay. I wonder how you get the H chains. I'm curious. I guess I technically don't have those in this because I'm playing on Steam. But, or do I? I don't know. Anyways, guys, though, sorry, this is kind of messy. This screen keeps, like, trying to do things, and I have to press off of it. But I'll end it here, though. I feel bad. I'm trying to struggle to give thoughts, because I've given a lot of thoughts about how I feel about her route as the route went. So if you've been watching the whole entire route, you would kind of know how I feel about it already. There's not much I can say that I haven't already said. And so I don't want to, like, keep repeating myself. But anyways, Misaki's route was nice. I really liked it. I liked the end there. It was cute. I wouldn't say it was totally unpredictable. I kind of like feel like I mentioned how I thought it was going to go, and it kind of went something along those lines. But I'm excited to see how Michiru's route is. I think Michiru's route is going to be pretty unique, and y'all seem to say that it's comparable to Sora's, which I really liked. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you, and I hope you are enjoying yourselves. I will see you with Michiru's route next. Have a good one.